Okay, this is a much needed update. I do want to go over the short that I closed shorting Bud Light, and this was a while ago. I did cover on the 29th, and I made a total of $48 from this trade. I did mention it in the previous video why I shorted it, and I did short on the 18th, and the reason why I shorted now that I'm out of the position is because it was doing like a double head and shoulders. The shoulder, the head, and then the shoulder, and then I also saw a head and shoulders here, shoulder, a head, and then shoulder, and this was like the higher, no, the lower high. And yeah, my short was right here on the 18th, and there was a point where I think I might have actually shorted at another point that was earlier. Yeah, I shorted on the 12th initially, which was right here because I thought it was a shoulder. And then what happened was is that it did uptrend and never broke my risk level, and I did add an additional amount of shares. So as you can see, I did short 25 shares on the 12th at 56.33. So right here around 56.33 is when I shorted 25 shares. And then when it was uptrending a bit, I did short some more. I just regret not shorting more. I shorted 5 more shares, and this is the one that I shorted on the 18th. I need to change that because I actually started on the 12th. And yeah, that was essentially the trade. But the problem was is that I should have shorted more. Maybe I should have shorted instead of 5 shares, maybe 15 shares, so that would have brought it to 45. And then that still wouldn't have been close to $100 risk level. So yeah, I guess I needed to have shorted a lot more, and then I would have been closer, and I would have been more profitable. I did cover this on the 29th. Completely, and that was right here on the 29th. This stupid tape right here. Just a very ugly jump up, a gap up, and I just had my uh, I essentially had to stop, but it was no longer where I would lose money as it was downtrending. I kept moving my stop, and I got out of the majority of my position. I did cover. It seems like yeah, I did cover 10 shares. This was on the 26th, which was right here on this day. And this was a good cover, but I did end up covering the rest right here. Yeah, I did cover um, 10 shares, and then I covered the remaining 5 at a not so ideal price when they had that stupid jump up day. And then after that, it did come right back down. It even broke this level that I was interested in right here a bit, although it was kind of weird. And yeah, this thing could continue to sell off. Honestly, there's a lot of potential for it to keep downtrending. But I was in roughly around right here, and I'm overall happy with it. I just, you know, annoyed that it did something like this. Very, very crazy jump from 53 to 55. I don't really see another point, although there probably is one where it was that crazy. I mean, this one was like from 63, 64. Yeah, nothing that was like $2. I guess this would have been one, but um, not until it was starting to downtrade did it do something like that. So that was pretty annoying, but yeah, it could have been much more profitable. Should have had more shares. And then on top of that, I don't regret that I got stopped out because honestly, it could have, I've done something crazy and I've trended, but I'm happy that I tried it. And now I am short, just 7 shares. Ideally, I want to be short 10 shares of SPY because it's also a head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. Ideally, the short would have been here or here, but instead I am short here. And this was one of those things where, I kind of feel like I missed out because I should have been short at this point, the proper head and shoulders. And, I figured that, well, if I'm going to be too picky about it and I never get in, and then it continues to sell off, that would be worse. So I did short. This is now being like another lower high. So here's the high, this is lower, lower, and this is lower. And then we're also following this trend line roughly. So my risk level at the moment would be something where it would turn around and break the trend line, which would be about 443. And that's a $10 difference roughly from where I entered, and that would make it about $70 loss. And the idea is that if it is going to try to go against me and maybe try to uptrend a little bit, I might be interested in shorting 3 more shares, and then I could be closer and maybe even short more because I'll be closer to my risk level. Essentially, I just want to see if this thing can continue the downtrend, although there is a lot of support, all over this point right here, but I think it's possible for it to get to 420. That's definitely something possible. And I guess I didn't really know when I shorted because I was at work, but I did short when it was at 12.18, which was right here. Not a bad point to be short at 432.39. So I did short right here. Yeah. This thing can totally fail. It can, try to uptrend and, definitely make a move towards the upside. But I have this trend line. If I wanted to, I could have my risk level be maybe 454, and then I'd have less shares, but that could be something where it'd be much harder for it to uptrend and break this level than to use this trend line right here. This allows me to, in theory, have more shares short. My risk level is closer, so I can short more shares. And in theory, I have this trend line, so if it breaks it, the trend has changed. That's all I have for right now. I just wanted to go over the short that I closed with Bud and my new short with SPY. And I have more confidence with Bud than I do with this one, but we'll see what will happen here with SPY.